this is what spirituality looks like. So, I'm renovating my house and I'm in between houses right now. And I am, you know, scraping, painting, doing lots of things going on around the house. And so I'm leaving for the night, and that happened maybe about an hour ago. And as I'm walking or about to walk out the door, there's a car that pulls up in front of my house. And I'm very curious because it wasn't only maybe 30 minutes prior that Amazon dropped off one of my packages that I needed for, again, renovating. So I'm thinking, oh, maybe there's something else, but there was a man standing outside the car with a camera phone. And then I hear him talking to somebody else who turns out this other man is standing at the house next door talking to him. And, they're having a back and forth together. And I'm curious because I'm like, that house is an empty house right now. And so I'm getting a little concerned. So I kind of discreetly bring my things back in and go back out to my porch just to hear more of what they're talking about. Because I'm like, what are they doing? And as the two men are talking, I realize that there's some rustling going on too at the other house. And it comes to find out that the man that's closer to the house is taking some wire that was left in the yard and he's trying to pull it over into my yard. And I was I was kind of like, first of all, I'm thinking, doesn't the man with the camera see me? And is he not trying to say something to his friend? Like, what are you doing? And so I come on out. I come right on out and I just start talking to the guy. And I was like, hi. And I'm kind of like coming with a spirit, hopefully with a spirit of curiosity and concern. And I'm like, hi, what are you doing? And he knows he's caught now, right? So because I think he just assumed like he could just quickly just toss it into my yard and not have any problems. And he's like, "Oh, this isn't ours," and I'm like, "It's not mine either." Right? And so I'm like trying to gauge like what is happening because again, there's another person with a camera phone, and I'm assuming at this point it's either property management for some other people and they're just trying to quickly do a job, get some photographs taken or something. I don't know. And then I kind of was trying to get out the fact that the garbage collection was coming tomorrow and you can just simply drag it to the front to the curb. And, he just kind of, I don't know. So this is kind of where I'm going with this story about what does spirituality really look like? Um, and he had, I'll just say this, and I know we live in a world where people judge, so I'm just going to admit to that. And anybody who says differently, it's like, I'm so sorry. Yeah, you could talk about light and love and all this and the other, but people do judge people, okay, based on their looks and appearance. So if somebody saw him walking on the street, he would have been assumed to be like a spiritual like roster, right? Like he has dreadlocks, had a little hat on. Um and yeah, he had I walked like I literally was like probably 5 feet away from him. I just kept walking because, I don't care like that. And so I got a good look at him. So it wasn't like, you know, and yeah, so he seemed like if somebody saw him out in the world, like, oh, he's super spiritual, he's, whatever, this and that. And I think where I'm going with this is that he he did something that I think had I been standing there the whole entire time, he would not have done it. Okay. And because of that, he wasn't acting in integrity. And to me, spirituality means you at least make an attempt to live in integrity. I'm not saying that you are always in integrity, okay? Sometimes we make mistakes, right? Sometimes we find ourselves doing something that we probably shouldn't have done, and hopefully we try to make amends. That's what life is. Life is a school for which we are trying to learn how to be better humans, right? And he kind of, I don't know, like when people, I sensed that he was embarrassed in that moment. Okay. And he could have been my age or a little bit older. Not quite sure. He didn't seem very young. And so I can't give him the benefit of youth, right? And so he continued on into the backyard, I guess, surveying what was going on, not in my backyard, but in the other backyard. So sorry. Fuzzy! No. Fuzzy! Okay, where was I? Okay, so sorry. I had to break up the little playfest behind me. So I couldn't give this man the benefit of youth, meaning like he just didn't know any better. Um, I and the only thing that I could come up with that, he got caught and he's embarrassed at this point. So what I ended up doing was just taking the wire myself and putting it on the curb right in front of his other friend in the car. And then I think there was somebody else in the car also. So there's like at least 3 people. Okay. I said nothing to the person with the camera phone or the person inside the car, or no other words to the person that was moving towards the back of the house, I guess surveying the other house. And so living or trying to live in a state of emotional intelligence when others don't have emotional intelligence, I'm going to admit it's a struggle. It can be a struggle. And sometimes I've had to deal with this with a lot of people in my life and try to help guide some confidants who have come to me in similar situations where they were wronged by somebody and the other person is embarrassed, but then they act like you did something to them, right? And it's tough. It's tough. And spirituality is not a costume that I am starting to notice. Like I'm not on the other platform, TikTok, that I'm noticing a lot of people coming over to um, other platforms and bringing, I guess, the energy of TikTok over to other platforms where people are having discussions and people are engaging, or at least trying to engage in mindful ways. And I think I applaud the idea that people want to be more spiritual, but it's more than just saying the right words, ashe or grand rising or whatever, people are saying now. Those are just words. And it's more than just wearing crystals and, walking around with some incense. It's far more than that. Those are just the decorations of a certain kind of spirituality. Okay. It's no different than somebody who, and this is also what I'm seeing, a lot of people leaving organized religion and coming into the spiritual world and bringing the same kind of mindset into spiritual world. Things like hierarchy and rules and things like in that nature. And spirituality is not like that. Okay. So I just kind of want to say it's like if you just see somebody on the street with dreadlocks and dashiki or somebody with a head wrap or somebody with crystals on, it doesn't automatically make them spiritual. If somebody's saying, oh, peace, love, grand rising, and all this other stuff, it doesn't make them spiritual. Okay. They're just play acting. Maybe. Okay. I don't do any of that. I consider myself spiritual. I've been spiritual for years, for years. Okay. And yes, I don't have any crystals on right now, but I do wear them. But I don't wear them all the time. Like right now, I just look like I don't know, some kind of soccer mom, I guess. But um, but I'm into meditation and breath work and qigong and things like that. And I've read, I don't want this to turn into a weird thing video, but read emerald tablets, the legit emerald tablets. Um, um I've read it at least 3 times, and I feel like I need to read it again, because there's still more to be learned. So much more to be learned. And I don't want people to assume that I am spiritual in the regard of like wearing crystals and this and that or whatever, because people make assumptions. And like I said, that man, like he really could be. He just probably got caught in a moment of embarrassment and didn't know what to do or say to me. But yet at the same time, same day today, because again, I'm renovating. I was just at the hardware store, and the cashier was an older man. Like he reminded me of my grandfather a little bit, and he was just so sweet. He was so sweet. Okay, so I was in there, of course, getting like some paint remover or whatever, and I got to the register, and I just was mentioning like I don't want to spend too much money in here and get in trouble and that kind of thing. And he just did one of the simplest, kindest things. He smiled and we shared a little laugh there. And then I got a little befuddled with my card and I did put it in. I was like, what is going like thinking in my mind, what's going on? And he reaches over, he's like, bloop. And I was like, I needed that. Thank you. So to me, that was a moment of spirituality. Like he sensed my kind of and he brought the calm and he brought the moment of clarity for me in that moment. Okay, so and like I said, he totally reminded me of my grandfather. And so I challenge people who are new to the world of spirituality to really do your inner work before trying to wear the clothes or wear the crystals. And you're on the first layer, and it's not even a hierarchy either, so that's another thing. Oh my goodness, I don't want to even get into that where it's like, well, I'm more spiritual than you. It's like nobody is. We're all spiritual. Some of us are more awake or aware than others, and every layer is a new layer of awareness. To me, it's like an onion. Like you peel one layer and then you're like, oh, okay. And then you realize, wait, there's another layer. You peel the next layer and you're like, oh, okay, this is good. And then you get to the like, wait, there's something else, another layer and another layer. You're never done. Okay. That's just my friendly advice for, friends out there. Like, welcome on your journey. Welcome. Okay. And with that, take care. Bye.